We're here this morning taking Vickie Sawyer's place. Vickie had some other arrangements, so we're trying to get started. There we go. I'm not in here. I was not getting my sound to me. But I've invited Richard Coleman here this morning. I'm Scotty Brown, County Commissioner of Iredell County, and I was here Monday with Jeff McNeely. So we're doing a double this week, trying to straighten out some things, but it's hard to straighten out Jeff McNeely. Everybody knows that. But we're so happy with Senator Sawyer, what she does for us, and the people don't realize what our representatives do and our senators do. These guys are constantly at meetings, going back and forth to Raleigh, doing different things. And if you knew what we paid them as citizens of North Carolina, you wouldn't. That's why we can't get people to run. But these guys are great. They give us a lot of time, and then they're always, if you ask them to do something, they'll do it for you. Of course, I'm the same way. Vickie called me at the last minute, said that she had a cancellation. She needed to get this done. So I'm sitting in for her this morning. We are going to take calls here the first 30 minutes. I'd like to introduce my cohort here is Richard Coleman. Richard, thanks for coming.
Thanks for the invite. Any excuse to get in and out of the rain this week would be more than welcome.
Well, we're flooding right now, so we've
yes,
had 5 inches.
Yeah, it's been. You own a zoo and I own a landscape business. We've been pretty much at a standstill all week.
Oh my gosh, it's people have no idea what the weather does. Farmers need rain, but they also need equal sunshine. The rain helps, but it doesn't work unless you have sunshine coming behind it. So hopefully we're going to get a great weekend here. It looks like the weather's going. But before we get started, guys, I'm going to open this up in a word of prayer, if you don't mind. Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to be here this morning, Lord. Thank you for our representatives, our senators, Lord, what they do for this state. Thank you for all of them, Lord, for standing in when we don't want to do that, Lord. We ask you to help them, give them the knowledge and the ability to keep us going, Lord. Make us the strongest state in the United States. And Iredell County, one of the greatest counties in the United States, Lord. We're already one of the top counties in North Carolina. We ask you, Lord, just to bless us and be with us here this morning, Lord. For it's in Christ's name, his sake, we do pray. Thank you.
Amen.
But a couple things, Richard, what we've been talking about as county commissioners, and I know your plan is to run for county commissioner again. So, we're always looking for new blood. I'm looking for somebody to replace me. My wife wants me to quit being county commissioner because it takes up all my time for her vacations. But, a lot's going on. We've had to budget. We've had to revow. And, of course, the revow was the first thing. As county commissioner, I like being able to fix things. If something's not going right, people call me and they'll say they're not happy about this or this. And I jump in head first just to help them out because that's what we do. We're elected to work for the public, and we're service to them, and I want them to know I appreciate them. My phone number's out there. They can call me anytime. But when the revow came in, we had nothing to do with that. That was, it's required by the state to do that. We were already so far down. We were at like 72%. They want us to stay in the 90s. So we had already got our second letter here in the county saying that, we had to get this done quick, had to get it around. There's no way we could have went more than 4 years. We have a choice of going 2, 4, 6, 8, and we choose 4 to keep it from getting too crazy. But things have went up. And one of the problems is people keep asking me, what can we commissioners do to stop building? And I have a lot of people to call me, and I've been chewed out a lot lately. This has been the toughest month of my career. Of I want you to do this, or this, and the people don't understand the role of commissioners. One thing is, we have nothing to do with the roads, the traffic. That's the DOT. And people say, well, you can stop selling building permits. That's what one lady, she told me flat out. She said, you can fix this, just stop selling building permits. That is not something that we can do. You have the freedom here in the United States to go live wherever you want to live, and that's the beauty of the United States. You can come here to Iredell County. What I tell people, if you want to help us, quit telling your family back wherever you came from how great it is. It's a great county. It's one of the number 1 counties in the state of North Carolina. The weather's great. It's halfway between north and south. So you lived in Florida for many years, and you came up here, and so now you've decided to stay here.
I moved in 2002 to North Carolina to pursue a career in racing, and after spending 21 years in North Carolina, you couldn't pay me to go back to Florida. And even though that Florida's right now, from a national standpoint, from a political standpoint, I agree with a lot of what they're doing down there. But still, even with the things that they are doing, like North Carolina's my home. This is where I want to be. There was plenty of things that attracted me here that you still don't see a lot in Florida. One of the things is the Southern hospitality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had a fellow tell me that yesterday. He said, I moved here from California. He says, and I just can't believe how nice people are here. I said, well, that's the way we grew up, But and he actually told me too. He said you can always tell somebody that was born here and somebody's not, because he said the ones that born here are really nice and they'll speak to you. He said the ones that were implants, he said they don't speak to you. I said, well, we believe in Southern hospitality, and I'm proud. I was born, raised here. One of the questions was, I don't get mad much, but I will get mad if you say I'm not a farmer. People say, well, you own a zoo. You're not a farmer. Well, I am a farmer. I farm about 500 acres, and I am a farmer, and I'm proud to be a farmer. I grew up on a dairy farm. I'm proud of that. But for people to tell me that I was born in the northern part of the county, because I live in Troutman, and Troutman's not the northern part of the county, but I wasn't born in Troutman. I was born in Mooresville. Lived in Mooresville my whole life, started elementary school in Mooresville. Then we moved to Shepherd's, which is coming up a little bit, and then in 2001 I moved to Troutman. So I was trying to get away from the traffic. But you know what? The traffic followed me.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is, and it's gonna keep going. So we got a call coming in right now, guys. Let's take this. Hello, this is Scotty Brown. Can I help you?
Hi, Scotty. This is Jesse. I want to ask you something, about he's having complaints about all the housing stuff. Now, I was born and raised here, like fourth generation. Did we not have ordinances to where you could only have like one house per acre, and something there seems to have changed to where you could put like two houses on a half acre now. A lot of this Horizon 2030 that seems to be lockstep of some other 2030 agendas have anything to do with what we're seeing today. It's like these people are getting run off from where they're coming from. Not only do they want to come here and live because it's beautiful weather, but they're literally getting ran off from where they're living at. You want to weigh in on your thoughts of that, or
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are there any answers to that, or who approved putting two houses on a quarter acre of land? And I'll just listen to your answer here on the radio.
Well, Jesse, Richard Coleman is sitting here with me today. He's actually on the 2045 horizon. So I'm going to pass it over and see what Richard has to say.
Well, I guess it's just good luck. We had a meeting last night to discuss the 2045 horizon plan, where I'm a part of a steering committee that will eventually present a plan to the commissioners for their adoption. But we had in the early part of the year, we had 4 public hearings in 4 different parts of the county so that we could get feedback from the communities on what they would like to see in their particular areas as far as growth and structure, where they would like to see, commercial, industrial, where they would like to see the residential development or lack thereof. And we just honestly we didn't get a lot of response. Now we've gone through some of the information, and we've made some adjustments, and we're going to put it out again. We've got public hearings coming in August, the week of the 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. We'll be in 4 different parts of the county again, where people can come express their opinions on how the future development of our county will go. I implore people to get involved and.
Right. Do y'all have like somewhere the people can weigh in?
Yes.
That so we don't have to come to the hearing, because like me, most people were working 60 and 80 hours a week, and
yes,
then
sir.
asked to come in at 7 o'clock in the evening.
There is.
I'm normally in the bed by then.
On the Iredell County website, there is an area under, I believe it's under planning and development, under that portion of the website, where you can comment on what you would like to see done,
right,
or comments on the 2045 Horizon Plan. There may even be a temporary website set up. I'll check with the head of planning and development.
Is there anybody assessing that and taking notes? And
yes.
Attention to that?
There's a team of people that are doing that right now.
We have a whole team throughout the county that we commissioners picked and got them on there. The one thing about the size of the lots, now we are working on that. Now it's a little different when you're in a municipality and you have city sewer and water. You can put more. You can do high density. So that's where the apartment buildings go and stuff like that. And houses get 5 feet apart. But now out in the country, little different. We to put a house on less than a half an acre is just about impossible. But we are trying to pass something right now. We're working on it. It does take time to.
I remember years ago it had to have 3 acres of land to put a house on it.
Well, we're trying to take it back to an acre, and that involves the sewer system. You can't put so much on one sewer system. So we're working on that. The duplexes has pretty much gone away whenever we started having to do the fire stuff in them, and it didn't pan out for money wise. But I can tell you, as one of the commissioners, I'm totally against building right now because we've got to get caught up on the roads. Can we stop it? No,
right.
We don't have that ability to stop it, or we can't say, we're not going to sell building permits because that's the Freedom Act. So we have to give everybody the same freedom, and it goes same way with commercial.
I understand that. It's just
and if I could interject something here too.
The clarity of before the 2030 horizon came out is you didn't hear nothing about this is getting ready to take place. I did, and I've been here and I listen to the radio all the time. It's just like we got hit with this hard back in 2000 with all this stuff, and it's like too late. It's done past then.
And to speak to to speak to another point of what he's talking about, part of the problem that we're experiencing now in 2023 is a direct result of the housing market crashing in 08 and 09. Because see, what you had is you had a situation where the housing market crashes, nobody's building any houses, but babies are still being born, and people were still moving to the country.
Right.
The supply and demand balance of housing became short. And then you've run into COVID, and you've run into exactly the same problem, where you never caught up from the issues that you had 10 years ago. That you're battling now. They've been multiplied by the situation that COVID created by everybody wanting to move to North Carolina because they got tired of the laws and restrictions on some of the blue-run states.
Right. And Jesse, where do you live at? In the northern county or southern county?
I'm right here between Statesville and Troutman.
Okay.
But it's rural.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Mooresville, and I can tell you, when people start talking to me about Mooresville, I said, you have no idea, because when I grew up...
I know. I can't go there no more. No. I don't even go up there. I hadn't seen it in 10 years.
Well, downtown Mooresville was great when I was a kid, and then, we thought we were somebody when we got our Kentucky Fried Chicken, and
everybody
we got Hardee's.
Moved there, right?
That's right. And now...
you can't even go there.
Well, Lake Norman is a necessary evil. We brought Lake Norman in, and we needed the water, and then we did the lake lots, and of course fortunately we had some money come in with at the time U.S. Air, and then NASCAR and Bank of America. We got all these guys wanting to live on Lake Norman. They brought a lot of money to Idle County, and it gave us the ability to do things. But now it's gotten a little bit carried away.
More.
That's right.
It's going to cost you more.
It's gotten carried away.
What banks are funding all of these houses going in? Is there like
I think you'd be surprised at how many people are moving from other states and just paying cash for the housing.
Yep.
Right.
There's not a lot of there may not be as much financing behind a lot of this development as you think there is.
Makes you wonder where all that money comes from.
Yes, it does. But Jesse, we appreciate you calling in, sir.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, sir. Good. But anyway, same thing as what Jesse was talking about. We have so many people to call us commissioners all the time and ask us, what can we do about building? We as commissioners cannot stop building. The municipalities have more pull than we do for far as slowing things down, because in the city limits, those guys they have more restrictions and more things like that they can do as far as how many houses they can put, how many apartment buildings. I'm totally against building more apartments right now. Back in the day, it was in the 90s. Mooresville actually put a moratorium in not to build any apartments. I was building apartments in. They put it in and stopped us for a while. It wasn't the end of the world. We got caught up on our city roads there in Mooresville, and we started building apartments again. But now it seems like it's really, really gotten carried away. And, whenever we have apartments, I had a lady tell me the other day, she said, well, I know it's because you own Zootastic, you want more people. No, I don't. And if people only knew, when I go to big functions, I said, they don't come here to go to Zootastic. They come here to, like my wife, she goes out of the country. She goes out of the state of North Carolina, and we vacation out of North Carolina. And so it's not the local people that keep us going. It's, people from other places. And we like money from other states, other counties, stuff like that. Same with our sales tax. That's we count that as kind of free money because most times it's people traveling. But like I said, there's a lot of things going on. I don't know 100% how to fix things. I mean, we're trying our best. There is 5 of us commissioners. I can tell you, we work hard together. We talk. We got something going on right now. We're working on. It's always something in there as far as budget or what we're going to build. Next we're working on Jennings Park. Jennings Park's a very, very large park. It's I was not a sports person, so. When I got put on the Parks and Recs, I'm saying, why in the world y'all put me on there? Because I'm not a sports person at all. I don't watch TV. I don't watch sports. None of this stuff. But they put me on there, and I've enjoyed it. I've learned a lot. I know, Richard, you do the Power Cross. Mm-hmm. And you and I have had several conversations about Power Cross. And maybe you can tell the listeners what's so important about sports.
Well, the key is you've got to have something that's going to attract young people from basically going out cutting up and getting in trouble. The more activities that you can create for children, the less opportunities they're going to have to, engage in criminal activity or, getting in trouble or things of that nature. Plus, it gives them something, from a sports aspect, it gives them something to lose at their level, right? They don't want to lose the privilege of being able to play a sport, so it keeps them out of trouble. But yeah, youth athletics, I believe, has to be a key in every community. And what we're seeing now from a youth sports aspect is there's a very large market, regardless of whether you're talking about soccer, football, baseball, basketball, whatever it is. There's a huge draw from a travel perspective. There's different levels of play, whether it's recreational ball or it's travel ball or it's showcase ball, things of that nature, that brings tourism to your community. And as well as I do as a commissioner that you want as much tourism as you can to your community, because those people bring revenue that you don't necessarily have to pay for the other expenses that it takes for residents to live here.
Exactly, and that's everywhere I travel. It's pretty much tourism's 100%. I mean, the places that we go is if it's not for tourism, we can get anything. We're not getting that here. We're working on the fairground. I am chairman of the fairground. I'm trying my best to figure out how do I build this fairground and make it profitable and not put any burden on the taxpayers. We were really thankful. Senator Sawyer and Representative McNeely and Gray Mills, they all got us some money last year. We got $5 million from the state to put in our fairgrounds. We had been saving over the years, had $6 million, so we're at 11. We're going to try to do phase 1 and pay for it. Because the biggest thing is the 5 commissioners there now, we don't want to borrow any money. We want to pay for everything we do. So it's about savings, just like you do your household. Mm-hmm. You've got to save money. And if, interest is, you just lose it. So we're going to do phase 1. Hopefully it'll pay for itself. I've got a lot of negativity, people saying it'll never pay for itself, never pay for itself. They're putting it towards other things that they've seen. And I'm sitting going, guys, it's you don't understand. I do have some experience in this. And I'm using my experience in that of showing them that we can do this, we can make money. We've got so many people interested in doing things. I've had people from horse shows to tractor pulls to horse pulls to rodeos. They need a place to go, and that goes back to the recreation. That part I know. Sports I don't know, but I do know that I'm getting a lot of calls, and there is a need for sports. I'm not that person. We've got a meeting. I got an email last night that Richard sits on that board with me also, and so we had a meeting coming up. But we've got to figure out what can we do as citizens, the ones that do want to make a difference. We've got to figure out what we want to do to get these kids involved. I met a guy the other night, David. I can't remember David's last name. He does some coaching, and he told me, he said, I've got to give him some help. I told him I'm here, so I'm listening. I'm wanting to pull him in on some of our meetings and get him to tell us what can we do. He's willing to give us his time, so I want to bring him in and let him tell us what does it take to make it work.
And the house of the wise is the multitude of counsel.
All right, guys, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Oh, we got 5 minutes. I'm sorry. We got 5 minutes. See there? I'm trying to work
He was doing
up.
a countdown.
He was doing a countdown.
And we were watching, and then we've reset the clock. Apparently there was a challenge on the field.
I met yesterday, I saw Senator Sawyer's husband at lunchtime, and I told him, I said, I'm doing Vickie's show. He said, no. He said, well, good luck. I said, yeah, no, the good luck should be to her. because when she comes back, she's got to fix all the messes. You know, it's kind of like when you rent your house out and you come back and you find out who had a party there. But
It's when you light the fire and throw it in the trash can and then walk away.
yeah, and see, I was in the other seat Monday whenever McNeely and I were here, and so we were trying to figure out things. But going back to the taxes and stuff and stuff what the commissioners do, I get a lot of calls every day about roads. I mean, this is a big thing. We know it's a problem. There's no maybe about it. And the biggest problem with roads in the county is Highway 150. I mean, that's just everybody is sitting here. All right, we got another call. Let's take it right quick. Good morning. This is Scotty Brown.
Hey, good morning. Yesterday we had a wreck on I-40 eastbound. Tractor trailer run off the road, took out some guardrail. I don't know if I'm asking the right person or who we need to talk to about possibly putting some lights out there on the construction side of the Crossroads of America project. I understand this week that they probably didn't get to work much because of the weather related, and that's probably partially the reason why that driver had his wreck, was because he couldn't see. It's real dark down through there where 40 and 77 come together. Is there something maybe we can call or somebody we can talk to about maybe putting some lights up out there?
Yes, sir. You can call the Department of Transportation, DOT, in here in Idle County. They, it's hard to get things done when it comes to stuff like that, when it comes to state stuff. But when it's dangerous, yeah, they will listen. It's been a tough week with the rain. I can tell you, we lost an ambulance this week. It hydroplaned and it totaled it.
Yeah.
So we've had a tough week with the rain.
Yeah, it has, and this week was not a good week for travel for sure. But I just know that Doosan makes those lights still. Maybe they could, state could purchase some of them or whatever. I'd be glad to put some money out of my pocket into them if it means making safer roads for people out here to travel on.
I'm with you, and you know what? There's several people listening, and I can promise you when I get done here, I'm making some notes. I will tell where that's at. Do you know exactly what the mile marker is? Or is it right there where all of it's going on?
Actually, the mile marker where the wreck happened yesterday was mile marker 150, which is the Highway 115 exit.
Right.
It was just past that, right? But the transition is kind of a zigzag there. And,
right.
And the road's not marked real well because of the construction, but that's where the area was at. But it had traffic backed up pretty good for a while. But it's just a matter of keeping everybody safe out there. I'm a driver myself. I see it every day. But,
and they've changed the
just
traffic
getting the word
patterns.
out there.
Yeah,
they've changed the traffic patterns a lot over there the last couple months.
They have. I mean, it's going to be, when they get the project done, it's going to be nice and it's going to be an improvement for sure. But until then, I know we've got sketchy situations out there. But it just seems to be that it wouldn't take a whole lot to put some lights up out there to make things a little easier to see, even when the raining conditions.
Right. No, I'm with you. We'll, like I said, I can pass the word on. It doesn't always get a lot done, but when it's a dangerous situation, we call in and say, this something needs to be done. So I will pass it on as soon as I get out of here today.
I appreciate that. You take care. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys, we're back now. We're still talking about taxes, road, traffic. As everybody knows, we've got problems here in Idle County. But the one thing that people don't realize, and you know what, I try to explain it as nice as I can, is, people move here, and we're glad to have you. We try to make this a place that people want to come to. That's why we're doing the building the parks and stuff, especially businesses. We want commercial businesses. We need them. They're the ones that pay our taxes, not homes. Homes do not pay taxes. But we're trying to get people to understand that we want you, but we want you to come here and realize that we've got to work together. We can't do this without everybody working together. So there's several things going on. We're getting ready to take a break here in about 10 seconds, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes, guys. So we appreciate y'all, and y'all have a great day. Hey guys, good morning again. This is Scotty Brown, Commissioner of Iredell County. I've got Richard Coleman here with me, and we're back after our little break there, and we're going to talk about a few more things. We've been talking about taxes and the revow and the roads and the traffic and all the problems we have in Iredell County, and we're going to talk about one thing here is schools. You know, one of the biggest topics in Iredell County right now is our high school. You know, that's if we commissioners could get one big thing off of us, it'd be get that high school built and let's all move on. But it is a problem. It is an expensive building, you know, and nobody can control what took place over COVID or what's taking place now. We're just trying to figure out, you know, what's going on. And you know, one thing I want to tell the public is, you know, I hear it all the time. Y'all guys don't get along with school board? Yes, we do. We get along great. We're working together. We've got to work together. We cannot fix this as one. We got to fix it as two, and we've got to work with the school board. We've got a great superintendent. He, you know, we couldn't ask for any better. We looked for Dr. James for years and years and years. Finally got him, and now people are giving him a hard time. And I'm saying, well, guys, let us do our job, and he's doing a great job. So he's fighting a lot in the school systems. Our school systems are crazy. You know, I read something. I was trying to think what I read this morning about identification, and we were saying that. It was about Dr. Seuss, you know, that we took the books out for Dr. Seuss because of something that was in there, but yet our kids go to school and they can't identify themselves and wanting us to put
he's racist.
Sandboxes. Yeah, he's
Dr.
racist.
Seuss is racist.
Want us to put sandboxes in the bathrooms. We do not have sandboxes in our bathrooms. And, I you know, when that first came out, I thought everybody was kidding me. I had no idea they were that serious about it, and some of the counties actually did it. And I can tell you Dr. James would never let that happen in our county. We're a great county, and we're proud of our county. We're a top-tier county. That's a good and bad thing. It gives us great interest rates when we do borrow money, but whenever we want free money or grants, we can't get it because we're a top-tier county. So you get the good with the bad, but we've got to build this school. You know, we got an $80 million bond that we did 4 years ago. That we knew then that wasn't going to do it, but we was hoping that we could come up with some other money. School come up with it, we come up with it, but we've now decided that the commissioners come together and said, hey, you know, we're willing to borrow $40 more million. And if people don't know what that means, and it goes back to our budget, they keep asking about our budget, and I've had several people ask me, you know, why is the budget so much? We have to borrow that $40 million. The first year, it's just interest only, it's $2 million. And then the second year goes to $4 million. It goes to principal and interest, and that's not counting the $80 million. So the $80 million, the payback, once we use the bonds up and figure out what the interest is going to be, it could be, you know, $8 million a year just for the $80 million. So it's a lot there. We do have a small bond coming off, which helps us, and we do figure that. But we figure not tomorrow, not next year. We don't do year-to-year budgets. We do 5 year, just like your 20 Horizon plan, your 2030. Or 2035, and it's and Jeff, I didn't correct him on that. He said 2040. It's 2045. I think when we started, we was going 2040, and then we changed it over 2045. But it is 2045 Horizon Plan, which we're looking into the future, and it's important that we look into the future. You know, we've got to build this high school. Everybody knows it. If you live in Iredell County and don't realize, you know, what's going on, it's growth, and the growth is unbelievable. We can't control that, but, you know, people want to come here. We appreciate them, and we're going to, you know, we invite you with open arms, but come here and leave your politics where they're at, and understand that we've got a great county. We're doing a good job. We've got one of the best county managers in the world. She works really hard. You know, I call her at night, and you know, she's still in her office at 8 o'clock at night. And I tell her, why are you working? She said, well, I got to get this done before tomorrow. And but we're the school. We've got to build this high school. We've got to figure it out. We're trying to work with the school board and figuring out, you know, what can we cut to build this? And then right behind that, we got a middle school and a elementary. You know, I was talking to my sister's a retired school teacher, and she taught at Shepherd School, and she was telling me that just the other night at dinner that they're moving in mobile units. So for next year. So if we're moving mobile units in, you know, we're ahead of the game. That means the school board's ahead of the game. Dr. James is ahead of the game. We've got to get this. We got to know that we got this many kids, and in that area down there's a lot of new homes, and they're projecting so many kids. So we know we're going to have to build a middle school and a elementary. So in our budget this year, and we put back $10 million. The $10 million is for future schools, and so we're hoping by the time we build an elementary school, and we know it's probably going to be within the next 3 to 4 years, that we'll have enough money saved up. So there we don't have to go to taxpayers and say, hey, we got to raise taxes. And then, we lowered the tax rate this year from 53.75 to 50 cents per 100. And we're, a lot of people say that's not enough, and we keep hearing Catawba because they lowered theirs. I can promise you one thing. Next year, Catawba will raise their taxes. One thing that this group of commissioners said, we will not raise taxes for the next 4 years to the next revow. And we've got that figured in. We have cushion. And, when you want to talk about the money that we set aside or the money that we have in savings, our budget, and Richard, I don't even know if you know this, you come to a lot of meetings, but our monthly budget is about $22 million. That's what it costs to run this county. That's a big budget. So, we like to keep at least 3 to 4 months. So you're looking at $80 million just in case something happened. What happens when we go back to 08 and 09? It was
That's
pretty
called
tough.
an emergency fund.
Right. And as a homeowner, if you don't have a budget like that, you're going to get in trouble. And that's what happened. Those guys, there's a lot of bankruptcies in 08, and a lot of people lost their home because they didn't budget for it. So we're doing a good job. We have a great group of commissioners. Not tooting my horn, but we work together. That's the thing. If we had a group that didn't work together, we fought all the time. We never get anything done. Do we agree? No, we don't. If we all agreed, we wouldn't need but one commissioner.
Right.
But
one thing that I will applaud the commissioners on how they conduct business is just like what you're talking about with Jennings Park or the fairgrounds. You want the money in the bank before you start the project.
Right.
Whereas where you're talking about the school system and the amount of money that you're having to finance and how much money is it costing the taxpayers of Iredell County every year. That's the difference. And yes, it's painful because people see this money set aside, or they see a large capital fund, or they see a fund balance that's
Right.
really high, not realizing that everything has already been earmarked for purchase. Because why should we, if we're going to be fiscally responsible for the citizens of Iredell County, why should we pay more for something that we're purchasing on their behalf with having to pay interest?
Right.
Versus just saving the money up and paying for it outright. You can always get a deal if you've got the money on hand. You're never getting a deal if you have to finance it.
That's right, and then the interest gets passed on to the consumer. So we're not gonna, we're gonna try to pay for things. There's some things that we've got coming up. We know we've got to have these schools. That's just because of all the people's moving here. But what adds up to that also, if you add more people, you got to have more sheriff deputies. In the county, and the cities have to have more officers there. But I'm more responsible for the sheriff's department, and we've got one of the greatest sheriff's department. And I love our sheriff. He does a great job. But you know what? He couldn't do a great job without his guys. And we've got some really, really good sheriff deputies, and the whole sheriff's department is unbelievable. And what people don't realize, and I was having a conversation yesterday with somebody, and we was talking about sheriff's department and how much we pay, and we're one of the lowest paid sheriff departments in the United States, and we have the lowest amount of sheriff deputies per 10,000 people. So we're looking at we're for the crime rate that we're the lowest crime rate in the state of North Carolina. So do you want to cut that department?
No.
When you cut that department, what happens? It's crime rates
goes up.
That's right. Crime goes up. So we don't want to
Property
go
values go
backwards.
down.
Right, exactly. And that's why we're doing such a great job. And our, like I said, the sheriff's department's got some great guys up there. They don't back up. Saw officer yesterday, had a long conversation with him about different things going on in the county. But those guys are great. We have, I talked to him yesterday, and he said in the past 5 years that he's gotten a lot more money. He's made it where he can stay here and feed his family. And his wife actually also works for the county. So you got 2 county workers there. And not making as much money as they could make, but they believe in what they do. So we're going to keep on going. Our sheriff has asked for a new sheriff's department, and he didn't ask for it because he wants something shiny. He says, "Come in here and look. They got desks to back. They've grown and grown and grown. The building hadn't grown any. So we're trying to do things." And one gentleman asked me the other night, says, "Why do we keep building buildings and we keep buying property? We don't buy property tomorrow to do a job next week. We buy property for 10 years from now. Our health department, the road is going to be cut right up. It's so close to the building that they got to put guardrails against our building. That's how bad it is. We're going to take the health department out of there because it's not safe for the public. We're going to build a new health department. We bought that land 10, 15 years ago. We knew we were going to do that. So we're going to build that building, and it also helps us because the building we're building, we're overcrowded at DSS, so that puts part of them in.
And they're going to combine the two.
We're going to combine them. So that was future. That's what we do as a good county. And we have, like I said, it goes back to the county managers. We've got a good one now. We had a good one before. We're making plans for the future, but that the health department property is paid for.
Well, I mean, any good steward of anybody's finances or assets is somebody that takes a proactive approach instead of a reactive approach to the spending.
That's right, and that's the way all the commissioners right now. That's what we keep talking about, and we're going to keep on going with that building. And then, of course, like I said, the sheriff wants a new building. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but we're trying to figure out, what are we going to put? Because somebody asked me the other night at a commission meeting, said, "Are y'all going to sell that building?" No, we don't sell buildings. We have too many needs that we're going to do. So we've got that building already figured out. The state was trying to work something out for us. It didn't work out for some help in the courts. We know we have a court problem. We know our jail is almost full completely. I think we're putting some in the old jail now, but we know for a fact
and we don't have a juvenile facility.
No.
All of our juveniles get transported to Alexander.
Right. So we've got to keep working to make their job easier and to get them into court and get them out of court. Something I was talking to one of the other commissioners that runs the jail. He said that there was one guy been in there for 4 years, hadn't went to court yet, and people don't realize how that works. It's with our court system now. Also, the judges want a new building, and I did have lunch last week with 5 judges, I think maybe 6. And they were explaining to me, different things. There were some of them was double duty in there. They would go upstairs, downstairs, and so we do need to build a courtroom. But if we could take the old sheriff's office and maybe make that an annex of a courtroom or two, and then or even move the clerk of court stuff over there. We could put that right there and make the downstairs more courtrooms. But we do have plans to work on different things. It's future. You want to take a call? I'm fine with it. All right, we got another call coming here. We wasn't going to take calls this time, but we're going to do it anyway. Hello, this is Scotty Brown.
Yes, sir. Thanks for taking my call. Me or my family, and now my parents are gone. I've got their last home here in Mooresville, and the property tax on this place is going up close to 70%. Well, I haven't got the tax bill yet, but the valuation going up 70%. And you just mentioned 2, 4, 6, 8-year intervals that you can do your reval. It's my humble opinion that the property tax has really now been converted to an income tax. The old historical nature of property tax was to help fund your direct sewer, streets, lighting, so forth, water sewer system for your particular property development. But now the money's going to all different kinds of things on an every as little as 2 to 4 year basis. So all of a sudden I'm told my property is worth $150,000, $200,000 more on the tax valuation. I don't have $150,000, $200,000 sitting in my bank account. My folks bought this place in 1977, had a single wide trailer on it. They treated it as their retirement property after working in Charlotte all their lives. And, of course, the Lord's called them home now. I've got it. And I've heard this same statement from other people, particularly around the lake. They had the property in their family for 50 to 60 years, and all of a sudden they're looking at a prospect of no telling how much tax is going to be charged on it. And so it's my humble opinion that it's now been converted to an income tax or a volume added tax, much like the sales tax. Which, by the way, in North Carolina history just keeps going up, and up, never down, but up. And even though the state government and politicians are touting they're lowering the state income tax, well, I beg to differ with that. It's still there. It hadn't disappeared.
Right.
And so we just keep getting layers and layers of different types and types of tax added to the North Carolina budget and to many of these certainly wealthy county budgets. And the volume of taxes collected in this state rates with any state in the country, in my humble opinion, if you just look at it. And so you guys are getting all this money poured in, and you're so big now with this money coming in. You hire people permanently just to spend that money every year. I know that's true in Charlotte-Mecklenburg. And there's people on the budgets on your payroll now that are sitting there doing nothing, budget analysts, figure out how they go spend all this additional money coming in. So that's just my soapbox comment for that.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Can you sell the property for what it was valued at?
Well, it's funny you asked that because I'm on the schedule right now to appear before your review board, July the 13th, and the state of the condition. My folks built their little retirement home in 1982, and I got out of debt for the first time in my life just a couple of years ago. Sold my Charlotte house to my son, of all people.
Well, God bless you for that.
Yeah,
that puts you in a good spot.
It was in disrepair too.
Right.
So I just bound and determined I'm not going back in debt at age 76 after paying on mortgages for 55 years of my life. But right now, my little house here, my folks, it needs rebuilding. And no, I'd have to go borrow most of the money to do it. I don't want to do that.
But could you sell? Because it sounds to me like the land may be worth more than the dwelling that's on the land. But could you sell the property as is for what it was reevaluated at?
Well, that's a good question. We're going to debate. I'm getting information together now from third parties to present that to the review board. Because I think it would be close on the lot or land value. The house, I think, is worthless because of all the deferred. They call it deferred repairs, I think.
Right.
And also I've neglected. I've got water drainage, all kinds of issues with this lot. Even though they're telling me it's worth over $500,000 just for land.
So it's on the lake.
But I'm gonna make two more general comments.
Sure.
In my humble opinion, the quality of life now, as I've been here either in Charlotte or Mooresville all my life, most of it, is now turning the other way. I don't want to live in Charlotte anymore. I've been there way too long. It's turning now, and it's flatlining, and in my humble opinion, the next direction for the quality of life around here is going to be down, as it is in Charlotte, in my opinion, again, not up, it's down, because of all the other issues that accompany mass population growth, crime, pollution, all the other issues. And the quality of the lake is not what it was 30 or 40 years ago. It's never going to be better with all the developments going on around it.
Oh,
you got advisories up. You got advisories on eating the fish. You got constant pollution dumps that hit the lake. One just within the last 10 days down near Cornelius, Huntersville, hit the lake. And you got the huge houses surrounding the lake. Everywhere you go on the lake now, huge houses. I just don't see the quality of life getting better here. And then with all the population growth, one person mentioned traffic a while ago, and maybe even a fatality. All these apartments that are going on up and down Highway 150, I constantly, and I cannot get in and out of here without getting on 150. That's a fact of life right now. I constantly see people on foot. Many of these people in these apartments, they can't afford a new $30,000 or $40,000 car. And so they're on foot, they're walking. There is no way now for a person to safely transverse I-77 from the right and left side of 150. You cannot do it safely. And,
right.
And, Lord help you if you're on a bicycle. There has to be some kind of treatment for pedestrians and bicyclists to get across the interstate to what is now two halves of Mooresville. Mooresville's cut in half by I-77.
Right.
I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, that's all right. No, that's as a commissioner, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to listen, and it's people have no idea. They pay us about, and it's not for money. They pay us about between $12,000 and $15,000 a year, but we don't do it for money because as a business owner, I'm on the phone at least 3 hours a day. Yesterday I was on 5 hours a day. 4 days I was on 5 hours. Just listen to people that you say on the soapbox. But I work for you, and so my job is to hear what you say and take it back. And we know, we're not immune to this. I own 300 acres in this county, and I own a big business, and my taxes went way, way, way up. But it was not something that the county decided to do. It is a revow that the state requires. It's to keep us all equal, because you got to understand this. It's a catch-22. If we said, we're not going to reevaluate your property, and your property is only this amount, this amount, this amount, but yet you're selling it for a higher price, and then all these people are going to come here because they want to buy cheap property. So it needs to be the real deal to try to keep it equal with other states, other areas, and we want to make sure that we're treating everybody equal, and that's where the Fair Act come in for the United States to keep everybody's property equal. Now, as far as taxes, local taxes, that is a commissioner thing to 50 cent. And I get ridiculed because I said that, that we don't want to drop it too much because it will, all we're asking is for more people to move in here. We've got a road problem. We are talking to DOT. DOT listens to the state, but we are talking to our DOT people, and they're great. So we're, they're listening to us. So we're hoping to get some help out there. But I'm going to ask you one more question is, are you on the 65-year-old program? Have you tried to get on that?
Well, I did 1 year in Charlotte. The only issue with that is kind of interesting. Once you get into retirement and your Social Security kicks in, I'm getting more disposable income now than I probably had the last 15 or 20 years of my working lifetime. And I'm still doing part-time work right now to try to do things, fix up the old house. We drive 16 and 17-year-old vehicles and, try to live the most economical life I can to stay out of debt.
Right.
So I'm going to make 3 more comments about local uses of tax money here. You mentioned Catawba County.
Yes, sir.
On 150 right down here, and down there at that new Publix, it blows my mind that the new relatively cheap apartment units that are being built down there. Just blows my mind. And Catawba County's got so much extra tax money pouring into it, little old Catawba County. Have you been in their new liquor store down there?
No,
I haven't been. I get around North Carolina a little bit. I haven't been in as big and as fancy a liquor store anywhere in North Carolina. So that's what they've chose to spend money on. Now, I know the county's not complete control of the AV system. It is also a state system.
Right.
But another comment about the debate between $200 million on the high school here in Iredell versus maybe around $100 million. And I'm thinking in the old days for me when I went to high school, basically all the athletic facility at the high school was built by boosters.
Right.
Maybe rich dads involved with the school, maybe even got some businesses to throw in money to build all those fancy athletic activities. We don't have to put up $100 million of air-conditioned and heated classrooms to educate our kids. $200 million worth. $80 million ought to build all the classroom space, water-cooled, fire retardant systems to house those students to educate them.
Right.
And then in the town of Mooresville, just on your radio, just in the last 2 weeks, I heard your radio guy promoting the fact that the town of Mooresville had $500,000 they allocated for foundation and not-for-profit type organizations there. One might have been the downtown area of Mooresville. And I'm thinking, okay, you're hitting the property tax owners over the head, many of which are just right on the string to try to keep it paid every year, but yet you're handing out money like that to nonprofits.
Right.
They have to spend all the money that comes in. Every one of you governments do. You're not going to give it back. That's historical knowledge. You're not going to give it back. So you have to allocate it and spend it.
Right.
So I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, we appreciate you calling in, but like I say, we are we're not immune to this. We see it. We're working on 150. We're working on, but we're going to try to take a couple more calls here. We appreciate you. Have a great day. All right, guys, we're back here now. We're going to try to finish up here. We got a couple more minutes, but there's a couple more things we wanted to talk about. We like I said, we were talking about the buildings that's going on in Iredell County. We do have Jennings Park's a big park up in the northern part of the county, and some people tell me it's not northern part of the county. Well, it's north for me, so it's depending on exactly where it is, it's kind of northwest, I guess, but. It doesn't get way up in the way part of northern county, and we don't want to get too close to the line because then we have other counties using our parks, and we try to keep it for Iredell County people. But I can tell you, as commissioner, I've sat on several things where we try to get businesses to come here, and the one thing the public does not understand, and they think we want housing. We don't. Now municipalities, they like housing because they get money, they get the taxes, they get to keep it. The county, when they get county taxes, we have to build schools. I mean, we're liable for that. That is the law. We have to build the schools. And I was doing some calculating this morning that because I wasn't sure where it was at. I hadn't calculated it lately, but it takes a $446,000 home, just that one home, for us to get your taxes and put one child through school. We have to budget for kids is $2,300 per kid. That's out of the county. State also kicks in their part. But that's a $446,000 home. Now, there's a lot of homes that don't come near that. And then there's a lot of homes that are $450,000 that have 2 kids. So right there, we completely lost right there. So it's not housing that drives the economic value of Iredell County. It's the businesses, and we're pushing hard for businesses. And one thing is, too, is, we're trying to save our farmland. We really want to. But if I had a choice over a housing development and a commercial building, I'm going to take the commercial building. So that's kind of like I say, it's free money, because that money goes right back into the system, and we don't have to put any kids through there. We don't have a big garbage dump thing there. It's very little. We had a meeting the other night, and there was some land that we were going to reevaluate, and we were going to put it in commercial, or it was already in housing. And so I tried to explain to the people that, right now you can put 80 houses there. Do you want 80 houses, or do you want one commercial building? And after they thought about it a little bit and talked about the traffic, tractor trailers, you might get 3 or 4 a day. We just the new building in Troutman is 1 million square feet for Walmart. It's real close to the interstate, so we don't see those trucks coming through to downtown Troutman. So I would love to keep Troutman the way it is, but that's not my choice. That's the people that's moving here. We know it's going to grow. They're sooner or later the road's got to change downtown. I call Troutman Mayberry. We're going to lose our Mayberry. We're going to be going to Mooresville and Troutman. With the amount of property we have up here, we could possibly get bigger than Mooresville. And do I want that? No, I don't. I like my little country setting. I like people coming visiting and then go back to where they come from. But,
we know change is inevitable, and you're
Right.
gonna it's finding that balance between responsible growth and not infringing on people's property rights.
right, exactly.
So there has to be a balance there. I know that everybody, especially in my neck of the woods, it's almost 12 o'clock on a Friday. You better avoid 150 till about 9 o'clock tonight. But people are coming here for a reason, and
Right.
I think that's because of that's an acclimate to everybody that's worked to make Iredell County a place that people want to move to.
Yep, that's the truth. It's a great place, and at one time it was a great secret, but the secret's out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but guys, we appreciate y'all joining us today. We've had some good call-ins. I'm going to ask Richard Coleman. He's actually he's crazy enough that he's going to throw his hat in this ring to run for commissioner. And I always tell people I'd love somebody to take my spot, because my wife wants me to vacation more. I'm getting old, Richard. But I'm going to ask him to give us a word of prayer at closing here.
Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on issues that are facing our community. We ask you to be with us as we go and do our work, and we do things that may further your kingdom. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Well, Richard, I appreciate you coming and joining me today, and
Thank you for having me.
Thank Vickie for giving me this time. She may not ever do this again. She may not ever leave town again. But if y'all guys see Vickie or any of them, thank them for what they do for us, and thank you.
Absolutely.
News Talk WSIC, Statesville, Lake Norman, North Charlotte.
Can you talk
All
into
right.
it real quick?
Yeah.
Get a test.
Yeah. So I also want to get a tone. Can I put the headphones on to kind of
Yeah,
get a
yeah,
tone
you can
for
put the
what,
headphones
so
on.
I can kind of hear what I sound like,
Do
because
what
I
you
know
gotta
what.
do. So that's recording. That's recording.